This video will examine the matrix while focusing on several concepts. We're gonna look at dreaming and the dream world and the significance of dreams, the difference between illusion and reality, and the concept of psychological integration, i.e., becoming whole. There is an Aboriginal tribe from Australia that believes that the waking world is actually just a dream, and the dream world is the actual reality. This waking world we live in is completely fake. We eat, drink, we see our family, we go to our jobs, but when we go to sleep, that's when we are actually living. Dreams have a huge significance in history and in the world till this day. Daniel from the Old Testament is a Hebrew seer, a wise person, and he is called upon by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar to interpret his dream. Because the magicians could not tell him about his dream, he ordered all the wise men in the court to be executed, which included Daniel and the other Jews. But Daniel, after praying, received a vision in his sleep of the dream and reported it to Nebuchadnezzar. Many modern-day psychologists place a lot of importance when it comes to dream interpretation, because like the ancients, there is a belief that somehow something is communicated to us from the dream world, or maybe it's a message from a higher power.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
Neo is believed to be the one who will save everybody. He is the chosen one, the golden child. The movie brings up the question of, do we have free will, or are our lives predetermined by fate? We can argue that. That's a very deep and philosophical question, and my aim is not to answer it, but to only approach these questions and embrace the mystery in all things. The hero of this story is obviously Neo, a hacker who has a certain resistance to authority, sleeps most of his days. You see him sleeping and waking up a lot in this movie, and that might be an allegory for Neo finally waking up and freeing himself from the Matrix. That's a general theme of this movie. When you're in the Matrix, you're asleep and not living, and then you're awake when you get released. The name Neo translates to new in Latin. Neo is the new, the novice, or the initiate. He knows almost nothing when we first meet him, and he knows almost everything in the end. He is reluctant to accept that he might be the chosen one, but in the end he learns to accept who he really is. Neo is an anagram for one, not one meaning singular, but one meaning the whole. He will be whole, and the one that will save the human race from this machine intelligence that has them all imprisoned in the Matrix. Morpheus, the mentor. His name is derived from the Roman god of dreams. He is the leader of the Nebuchadnezzar ship, which if you were paying attention, you would notice this theme of dreams repeated once again. He wants to find Neo and help him break free from this false reality or dream. Later he gets captured, which allows Neo to then stand on his own. The mentor archetype typically dies or gets captured, and that's when the hero/student typically realizes his or her true power. Trinity, the lover. Another hacker who gets released from the Matrix. Trinity means threefold unity, mind, body, and spirit, referring to the concept of individuation or wholeness I mentioned earlier. She is what is needed to complete everything. Since they are in this dream world, the Matrix, as we know, the computer language is compromised of binary code, zeros and ones, but she brings up this third element that is neither this or that, it's neither on or off. It's this extra power of love. She represents love, beauty, and the spirit that which motivates, and that's what makes her role that much important. The Oracle. In some ways, the mentor. She is the one who is to reveal the prophecy, whether or not Neo is the one. She gives a lot of cryptic advice. Her answers to his questions are really caged in nuance. It's almost similar to a Zen master that answers questions with questions, or presents ideas in a way that causes the seeker to dig deeper in order to bring up his own conclusions. She's an interesting character. She's first seen in a home, in a kitchen baking cookies, appears to be very nice, warm, and welcoming. But on the other hand, she has a foul mouth, smokes cigarettes, drinks highballs in the afternoon, which makes her character even more contradictory and complex. She has this saying over her door, "Know thyself," which is a clear foreshadowing toward Greek mythology, and that is really the crux of this story, that Neo has to really know who he really is, not who he thought he was in the Matrix, by her giving Neo misleading or contradictory advice that causes Neo to dig deeper and find out really what it means for him and his situation, which is something only a really good teacher can do. Another member of the ship, Cipher. He is more of an opponent than an ally. His name means to code or to decipher something, but the word cipher also means zero or void, again with the 0 and the 1, Cipher and Neo. They're connected. Cipher is sort of the shadow element of Neo's light side. He becomes a traitor and betrays the whole crew, because he wants back into the Matrix. He doesn't like the real world. He would rather forget and return to that illusionary world and go back to a fake life, eating food that's not real, and be ignorant. Now, with the Matrix itself, this prison that houses all these people keeps them alive, but their waking lives are nothing but a dream, a computer program in the Matrix. The word matrix is a very interesting word. It's a very feminine term. Matter comes from the Latin word mater, meaning mother. Even the suffix trix is used to form feminine nouns, so it's a double feminine word. And you might ask how this deceiving evil reality can ever be motherly. It's because it is actually. It's a womb that they're in for their whole lives. This artificial womb of the Matrix. Their mind is free to go to live out what seems to be their lives, but it's really just a virtual reality computer program. Next, the agents. They're the physical manifestation of the Matrix. The name agent means doing, or a catalyst, that causes action to take place. They do that precisely through tracking down Neo and getting in the way of the efforts of Morpheus and the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar. Basically a law enforcement authority, the face of the oppressive nature of the Matrix, and a personification of it. They are tricksters and shapeshifters that can put themselves in anybody else's body who's in the Matrix, and they have these powers that nobody else has. But Morpheus believes that despite how powerful they are, they still have to abide by the rules of the Matrix, which is why he believes that Neo can somehow crack the code, can get beyond them and see the source code, and eventually surpass the agents or anybody else in the Matrix. The last scene of the movie, which I think is the most important scene, is when Neo realizes his power. Neo and Trinity go back into the Matrix. They literally return back in. They return to the same location that we saw at the very beginning with Trinity, so it's a definite kind of returning point in the movie. And at this point, Neo has to face the agents alone, but he has supernatural help. He has this chosen one persona that is thrust upon him, and you can tell that something is changed within him. He has this power of love coming from Trinity, and now he's able to see the code and become one with the Matrix. He achieves individuation, and in doing so, he's finally able to defeat the enemy.